Hey, what's up, everybody? Have a topic that I don't think many people think about very much, but is something that I've had experience with ever since I was an adolescent, in fact, a young child. And I think it's probably something that a lot of people deal with, um, and it's possibly misunderstood in a lot of ways. And that's actually, there's two things. One is night terrors, and the other is sleep paralysis. I recently watched a video on about sleep paralysis, and it was on more of a metaphysical, spiritual aspect, which I don't uh, negate at all. I'm open-minded, and I believe there are things that we don't understand and that science can't explain, which can be considered spiritual or metaphysical or something like that. Maybe one day we'll have a better understanding of what some of this stuff actually is. But as for now, you know, we can guess. But I don't want to focus on the metaphysical side of it. I'd like to talk more on the physiological and psychological side of both of these things. Both the night terrors, you know, extremely bad nightmares, I guess, which I had a lot of when I was a child, and I still do. I actually recently experienced some, and then also sleep paralysis, which I have personally dealt with for long as I can remember, since I was a child. So I can recall. This might be a longer video, so sorry guys if I bore you, but I just want to throw the background out there for you. You know, as a kid, I was afraid of a lot of things. I was afraid of the dark. I was very shy. I'd hide behind my parents, you know, at the grocery store if somebody asked me how I was doing. And I mean, I was shy and fearful of a lot of things, you know, all during my childhood. And I didn't really come out of my shell, I guess you could say, or develop confidence in myself until after hitting puberty, you know, and then I guess the testosterone kicked in or whatever, and helped out in that respect. But so for my childhood, I used to have a lot of nightmares, and you know, I never really thought too much about it until recently, when I had a very stressful situation for myself come up. It probably wouldn't be very stressful for a lot of you guys, you know, but for me, as a perfectionist, as somebody who takes what they do very seriously, and right now, what I'm doing, what my job is, what I'm getting paid to do, is to go to school. So I was in a class that for me was extremely challenging. Actually, I would say the most challenging class I've ever taken in my life. Yeah, and I don't do well with not doing well, intellectually, or in any fashion really. I don't deal with failure. I don't deal with not doing great, I guess. Yeah. So for me, anything less than an A is failing. So anyways, I was in a class. It was very hard for me, and you know, we would have tests, and the tests were very long and daunting. A lot of questions, time-consuming questions. There's a lot of math involved, which is not my strong subject. Never has been. And so when this happened, I would notice that about 2 days before I would have a test, I would start having nightmares which is weird because I hadn't had nightmares for quite a while. Uh, when I was in the Air Force, actually, I didn't really dream at all, let alone have nightmares. That was weird. It was about 7 years worth of not dreaming, so I don't know. Maybe I'll research into what that even means later sometime. But, anyways, it got me recently. It just got me thinking about uh, why am I having nightmares? Like weird, very just like disturbing nightmares. Um, so I looked into it, and I would look into different websites and whatnot, and look into what psychiatrists or psychologists would have to say about dreams and what they say and what it means subconsciously. Like dreams are your subconscious mind trying to tell your conscious mind something, basically. Especially when, and I really believe that now, especially when it's a very vivid dream or nightmare. I really do think that I don't know if I would go as far as saying prophetic, but I believe that your subconscious mind perceives things that you don't consciously perceive a lot of times, if that makes sense. People communicate not just through words, but body language and facial suggestions and postures and stuff like that. So that's subconscious communication, and you may not be picking up on that consciously, but back in your mind, it's something is being communicated to you. So I believe that through the day or through a period of time, these subconscious things are being communicated. And then when you dream or have a nightmare, this is your subconscious trying to communicate these things to you. The things that you may have missed in your waking mind, I guess you could say, your conscious mind. So it was actually pretty unreal when I looked into what some of the meanings were behind what I was dreaming, the nightmares that I was having. I'm not going to go into the specifics of what they were. That would just take too much time. But long story short is that the stuff that I was having nightmares about directly correlated with my stress and anxiety over these tests. And it was symbolisms for you're gonna face danger in the near future. Trying situation is coming your way. Your future is in jeopardy. Stuff like that. And it really is how I felt. So knowing that, it actually helped me, understanding why I was having these dreams and understanding what my subconscious mind was trying to communicate to me actually helped me to deal with the stress, because understanding where this is coming from, it's not some evil spirit or some extra negative energy, attacking me at night. It's my own stress, my own anxiety. And so what that told me is I need to do things to, try not to stress out as much and try to, I guess if that means studying more on a specific topic or going to a tutoring session or office hours or whatever that might be, to provide myself more confidence for the exam coming up. And like I said, every time it seemed like I had an exam, a couple days before I'd have a nightmare, and then the recurring nightmares, and then the day after I would have maybe one of a lesser magnitude, and then after that I was fine. So I found the pattern, and by the end I was able to, take steps to enhance my confidence in myself. So it was just basically, I didn't believe in my own abilities. I was doubting myself. I was doubting my ability to pass the exam. And this made me fearful. It was just like the child coming out in me again, and I didn't want to face it. So, you know, you have to face your fears, and I did. So I believe that understanding what the nightmares meant, and understanding that it was actually a positive thing because I could learn about myself. It helped me become a better person, and it helped me to be able to in the future deal with stressful situations better. So there's the night terror deal. Um, so I think that's pretty important to understand. And if you have children and they struggle with nightmares a lot, you could explain this to them as well, that it's just their subconscious fears trying to explain something to them. Uh, it's not the boogeyman. It's not some demonic spirit or whatnot. And again, I'm not saying that those types of things don't exist, because you know I personally think that things like that exist. I don't think that the explanations that we have are quite right or understood necessarily, but I do think there are things, and that'll be a topic on another video. But the other thing I wanted to touch on is um, sleep paralysis. And that's also something that I've had for many, many years. And a lot of times it would correlate with the nightmares, but many times I believe the sleep paralysis would bring me to the state of nightmare, because it's a fearful thing when you wake up. Basically, your mind wakes up, but your body hasn't caught up to that point yet, and you can't move. That's scary. I would feel like I was being choked by something. I couldn't breathe, and then I would wake up and sometimes hallucinate and see, a scary face or hear voices or something like that. Before I'd be able to, snap out of it or whatever. And growing up, I was always taught, well, that's an evil spirit or something, and you need to pray about it or whatever. I personally don't believe for myself that was the case. Again, I'm not saying that's not possible to some degree or another, in some way or shape or form somewhere, possibly, okay? So I don't want to discredit anyone who believes in that. I respect all opinions. However, for myself, I didn't find out until years later, and I'm talking about 2 years ago, when I was tested for sleep apnea, and I was tested positive for sleep apnea. So, in knowing that, the VA prescribed me a CPAP, which is, if you don't know what it is, kind of like the Darth Vader mask, I guess, or like an airplane pilot. They wear that mask and they breathe the oxygen in. Well, this one isn't quite as intrusive, I guess, as that. It's just two little things I plug in my nose, and it feeds me oxygen throughout the night. And since I've gotten the CPAP, I haven't had sleep paralysis whatsoever. In fact, there have been a few times where I've forgotten to put my CPAP on, because maybe I was just too tired and I just passed out before I thought about it or whatever, and I would have sleep paralysis that night. So my conclusion on that is that my sleep paralysis was physiological. It was due to sleep apnea. And the fix for that was obviously getting a CPAP. Typically, leaner people, smaller people, don't necessarily deal with sleep apnea as much as like obese people do, but mine's genetic. It just has to do with the way my nasal area and stuff is put together, I guess. I know my father has it, and I'm pretty sure my grandfather had it as well. So it's more of a genetic thing for me. So a lot of people could fix this by losing weight. I know morbidly obese people have very obstructive sleep apnea at times. And a lot of the people that I was with in the class where they taught you how to use the CPAP were morbidly obese, and they had severe cases of it. Mine wasn't severe; it's mild to moderate. So, anyways, that could explain a lot of people's sleep paralysis issues if it's something that you've dealt with. I mean, I dealt with it, like I said, all my life, and I had no idea I had sleep apnea. So it's something that you should keep in mind if you deal with sleep paralysis. If you have the insurance or can afford it, or maybe you're with the VA or something, or just save up money, I don't know, to get tested for sleep apnea. Also, I have a lot more energy during the day because my quality of sleep is much better. It's a little uncomfortable at first because it's something foreign on your face when you're trying to sleep, and there's like tubes hooked up to it. It's really weird. But if you just keep doing it, after a while, you get used to it. So for me, it was almost like magic. I mean, it just like re-oxygenated my body and re-energized me and just made me feel a lot better. I feel much better now that I have a CPAP, and I never deal with sleep paralysis. So I don't know, I just felt like those are two things that might be an interesting topic to talk about. So, pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to your nightmares, because it's just you trying to tell yourself something. You could be trying to warn yourself about, I don't know, a dangerous situation that is in front of you, or just something that you're afraid of. It could be a person that, subconsciously you're seeing, mistrusting body language or something like that. And you can figure that stuff out through your dreams. And I think that's pretty cool. And that's all psychology, and I mean, that's real stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then I thought the sleep paralysis issue is pretty cool. Not everyone is getting attacked by the devil or whatever. Like, you could just have sleep apnea or something like that. So look into it. Do some research and get tested for sleep apnea. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to your nightmares. Explain this stuff to your kids if you have kids that are dealing with it. And I think it could be very helpful. So if you guys enjoyed the video, found it helpful, please subscribe to my channel and give me a like. I'd really appreciate it. So other than that, that's all I have. And you guys have a wonderful day.